Well, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning wherever you are in the world. Maybe you could give me a little sound check before I start. I hear you. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Thank you for the sound check. There's a slight delay every time I do a sound check, and that's because it must be something to do with StreamYard, which is it's a great app. I'm very, very happy with it. It works well until I do an interview, and then for some reason it goes off. So I'm hoping that the wires that I've got in the back now are going to be okay for my next interview. So I'm looking forward to doing some interviews in the coming year. Today, however, we're going to talk about hopefully a book that may be coming out next year, fingers crossed. And I've never really done anything like this before. Normally, I'm just a guy who talks a little bit about things that happened to me along my journey and my clients. Whereas this will be like me giving kind of like guidance to what I've learned through my clients and through their process of suffering, challenges, experience, and then to heal and grow stronger from it. So I learned a lot over the 20 years because of my clients. Of course, we all learn a lot from our own experiences, and it's not a cliche to say that the worst scenarios that we've been through are normally our greatest mentor. Totally, totally, without a doubt. I see a lot of people in this world that skip and dance through life, just leading a normal life, and then all of a sudden, after maybe 50 years, some tragedy or some issue comes to them, and their whole life just completely changes. Their view, their perspective on just daily life and their spirituality. It's funny how your spirituality comes to light when something really, really challenging happens. And that's a fascinating subject in itself. The subject tonight is the tightrope effect. And I call it that because life, since a child, has always felt like I'm on a tightrope, and it's so easy to be pushed off over this side or that side. And I think it's a cliche again to say that everything that's thrown upon us in life is a kind of tightrope, and you can either fall on that side and you fall on that side, and whichever side you fall on, it's ultimately going to cause you stress, because if you're on that side, you're hated by that side. If you're on that side, you're hated by that side, and it's so cleverly planned by this satanic world that we live in. So we have to balance, and we have to walk this tightrope. And instead of falling for what governments, politics, spirituality, one form of spirituality to another, one belief system to another, one gender to another, one box to another, one label to another. Walking a tightrope is there is no labels. Walking a tightrope, there is no sides. That you're just balancing right in the middle of everything. And I find that the most beautiful, absolutely beautiful. On a side note, I've been sat here in utter peace, relaxing completely. It's been really peaceful. As soon as I started this, there's a car engine roaring like crazy, and it kind of puts you off a little bit. And it's like it still happens till this day that when I'm in a flow, that It's nobody's fault. I don't believe it's the mechanic's fault. He didn't know I was starting now. But it's funny how there is a universal energy that tries to throw us off the tightrope. And it's a great example. It really is. Or we can be feeling happy and all of a sudden somebody comes and spoils it. Or something happens along our journey that we fall off. And we fall off sad, or we fall off angry, or we fall off and we hurt. So the tightrope effect is what most people just call balance, a balanced life. And nobody can argue that balance is really the most powerful energy that we all strive for. And 99% of people fail miserably to balance their life. Some people may be an expert on a tightrope, but then they struggle when they're walking and when they're dancing or when they're skiing or whatever it is. So it's very hard. It's very hard to have all the pieces in place. It's very hard to walk this path and have all the spiritual guidance, all the tools, all the information, because everything's changing from moment to moment. And something that we should always be aware of, that when we walk the tightrope, it's never ever going to be the same when we turn back and walk back. So we walk this way on the tightrope. When we get to the end, we turn back and it's going to be completely different. And the reason why is because our view is different. The way we're moving is a different movement, and so on. So the tightrope effect is fascinating. First of all, I'd like to talk about the tightrope effect in the mind. And ultimately, the mind is the key to everything. And the mind is connected, which is the brain. The brain is connected to the eyes and connected to the ears. And all of this top part here with the mouth, what we open and shut, all of this mindset, all of this mind intake is very much like a computer. And some of us fail very, very miserably with the mind, because the mind and walking the tightrope means that we learn to digest sufficient information, and we learn to find the balance in inner peace in the mind. So like I said, most of us fail because we have a monkey mind and we worry and we have fears. It's very, very rarely that I've ever met anybody that was so happy that they had a monkey mind. So it's normally worry and fear of the what ifs is what happens when we have a monkey mind. That means that we're always thinking, always thinking, always thinking. The more people that I met who were, let's say, they found their joy in life, I found they slept well. And the ones who had a monkey mind, who snowballed all issues, and it's always going to be bad, it's always going to be wrong, it's all what could happen. Oh my God, let's talk about what could happen. Those people always struggled with sleep. And thus, when you struggle with sleep, that throws you off the tightrope. Sleep is extremely important. Now, there is a kind of ancient wisdom that spoke about sleep, and that is we should sleep when the sun goes down and rise when the sun comes up. That's very, very challenging, because many people come home from work at 8 o'clock and 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So again, the tightrope effect is about trying to find time to sleep or rest. Rest is a good thing as well. It's very equal to sleep. And if you don't mind me saying, 15 minutes meditation, somehow, I don't know why, rejuvenates you by, I've always said 2 to 3 hours. So if you do it correctly and you go into meditation and you learn to clear the monkey mind, and that takes time. It's like going to a gym and exercising. So meditation for me, over the 20 years, was part of my daily routine. You would often see me at shows with my eyes closed, meditating. It was a perfect time and opportunity because normally I'd be working non-stop, and then soon as a customer came over, I would open my eyes and give the healing session or the reading. So the mind, where do we start with the mind? For me, when I wake up in the morning, I do my utmost to find pleasure in the mind. So you can wake up with a negative thought. You can wake up with a positive thought. It's very easy to wake up with a negative thought because we have been initially programmed, brainwashed to have a negative thought. So it's kind of like you have to change the way you think in the morning. And there are so many things you can do when you walk the tightrope. You can have affirmations, which is a common one, or you can have, which I used to do, make a promise to myself for the next 7 days not to worry about anything. And I would look up and say, okay, this next 7 days, I'm not going to worry about anything. But what I am going to do is I'm going to leave it to you to look after me for these next 7 days. So I'm going to put my whole truth, my whole love, my whole trust, my whole everything to you. I'll just leave it to you. So basically surrender yourself for 7 days and just get on with what you do. You get up, you make your breakfast, you go to work, you come home, but you've made a promise not to worry about anything. And that used to work for my clients. So that's part of my tightrope effect. It's like it's a way of being a little bit more balanced on that tightrope, because now you're not thinking about the worries, the fears, and the what ifs. And that is surely one of the major factors of falling off and not being balanced on the tightrope effect. So there has to come at some point when you walk this spiritual path a kind of trust in something other than yourself. So if you are here now and you believe in spirituality and you believe that there is a creator in this world that is maybe, invisible, and you call it God or source or something that's created this world, it's got to have come from somewhere, right? It's got to have been created from something, right? So if you think that, then maybe you could put your trust in that for 7 days and see what happens. And then thereafter, the next 7 days, you can do it for 14 days and so on. So now I'm at a point where I actually put my trust in the hands of the universe every day. It's just a very normal thing for me to do. So I don't worry about things anymore like I used to do at all. And they certainly help when big challenges come your way. For sure it does. Because it's not always going to be on the tightrope effect that you're going to have all the tools, that everything is going to be perfect in your life. It's not. It's just, if your car breaks down because you've got a flat tire in the back, you're okay because you've got a spare and you've got some tools, and you know exactly that the jack is going to lift it up. You know that you're going to have to stick this metal thing in and twist it. And, this is just basically what the tightrope effect is. It's giving you a few tools to keep in the back of your consciousness or your mind to be able to utilize. So that's the first step with the mindset. I think one of the most major breakthroughs that I saw in my clients was if you just look at yourself now, okay? So just close your eyes, just try it, just close your eyes. And I want you to come out of your body and look at your physical body. And I want you to ask yourself this question. I want you to talk to yourself by simply saying, these last 5 years, if you look at these last 5 years, this last year, last 2 years, last 3 years, last 4 years, look at everything that you've been through. Look at all that pain and suffering. Look at all the moments that you were fearful and worried about everything, and it was all going to go wrong, and everything was all fearful. Now, Ask your body to open its eyes and look at you. You're still here. Your body is still here. You are still fine. You are fine. Look at you. You are fine. You're okay. You might be a bit battered, a bit bruised, but you're actually fine. So you've got to ask yourself, why are you battered and bruised? And the only answer to that is that if I said to you now that in 5 years from now, that body of yours is going to be fine. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be healthy. It's going to be great. From this moment on till the next 5 years, if you know that you're going to be fine in 5 years to this day, what are you going to do different now that you wouldn't have done if you didn't know you were going to be fine? Well, the answer to that is that you're not going to worry about anything. You're not going to fear anything that's coming your way. It's very similar to say that, well, you're not going to die till you're 105, which means that you can do anything you want in this world because you're not going to die till you're 105. Well, I'm telling you, I'm going to sit here with you in 5 years and smile, and I'm going to say, see, everything was fine. By using that analogy and that spiritual message, then your change of mind is an immediate access to peace, tranquility, joy, and all the things that help you along your tightrope so you're not wobbling. And there is a huge sense of trust in that. Because I'm it's very similar to saying, see the end of that tightrope? I'm telling you now, you're going to get to that end of that tightrope and you're not going to fall at all. So once you get up and you walk on there, you're going to go to the end. No matter what happens to you, you're going to get to the end. That I predict, and you will. Absolutely. There comes this void of something that is within our mind that keeps telling us that, what if? If you can clear that away, then your confidence brings balance. Your confidence brings an amazing energy. And that energy is felt by other people that will then embrace you. So these are the things that we try and clear from the mind to walk the tightrope. Anger, all the emotions, what we see in the world, what others say about us, all the actions, all the non-actions, everything that the whole seating area to the right and the whole seating area to the left who are watching you, it's fine. They all have their issues. Everybody here. It doesn't matter if they're judging me or not. It doesn't matter if I fall, because I'm only human in this body and I make mistakes. So it's okay. It's no problem. It seems to be that we can walk the tightrope when we accept people for who they are, whether it's good or bad, sad, angry, whether they're filled with emotions towards us, and they may not be positive. And the same too on the other side, where everybody thinks you're amazing and puts you on a pedestal and you know, bets on you that you'll do this and you're the best, and you've got two energies coming at you all the time, and they're both equal. They're both equal because you don't want to let them down and make them feel bad, and you don't want to aggravate and irritate all of them, and you've got it coming at both ends. So You have to learn to walk the tightrope almost like you don't feel other people's suffering or other people's excitement, in the sense of, I find my balance because I find my balance. So if you are totally in need of reassurance and love, and you get all of this expectation of high energy, that too can put you off, as well as all of this anger and resentment on the other side. So walking the tightrope is, for me, extremely important when people are saying things to me. And somebody says, "Oh, you're amazing." I throw it back at them and say, "So are you." I don't embrace something because I don't want to, one, let anybody down. I don't want people to think I'm any more than what I am. But I am very thankful for your kindness. So it's finding the balance. Exercise of the body is vital when you're on a tightrope. So what you put inside your mouth, the medicines, what you don't put in your mouth, and what you do from day to day is vital. We can end up walking the tightrope with too much of anything, too much of food. You'll feel bloated, or you'll get a stomach ache and you're just not going to be able to concentrate. Too much wine, you're not even going to be able to get up on there. Too much of anything like medicines, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. So we find the balance. For me, the balance, the tightrope balance effect is working and exercising your body to a degree that you don't overdo. You don't overdo yourself. Because for me, exercise should be a pleasure. And I see so many people lose heart and lose enthusiasm because they go to a gym in January, February, March, and then it's finished. And I see it as a way of life, and the tightrope effect is a way of life. So whether you go for a brisk walk for 40 minutes a day, that's fantastic, amazing. As long as you're walking not too slow, a bit fast, a little bit faster, it's great exercise. Moving your hands, shaking yourself, shaking your body like my little doggy does, shaking yourself off the energy. That's what they do. When a dog shakes, it shakes the old energy off. So there is truth in when people say shake your body. There is truth in that. Silly little things that may seem silly to you sometimes have great benefit. And 50 times in the morning, up on your toes, lift up and down off your toes, up and down, so your heels go up in the air and back, is an amazing energy. Fantastic. Cold showers are fantastic as well, and actually hot showers are fantastic too. So in the morning, that's great. Eating certain foods in the morning, if you're eating too many eggs, it's not going to be good. There's more mucus in your body. If you're eating more lighter, foods, if you're eating fruits in the morning, that's good for your body. If you're looking after your body through the day by drinking certain drinks, like this is fresh ginger. So ginger is a beautiful root, and I love roots. So I drink ginger every day. I drink turmeric every day. The ginger tends to clear parasites in the body and heals the body and strengthens it. I also take as many different types of herbs with my food as I can. I like different herbs in my food, oregano and so on. It's good and healthy stuff. Keeps you strong. and keeps the body fit. The medicine that the body needs, in my opinion, are fruit and vegetables, but I have no issues with people eating whatever they want. As long as you are aware of what you're eating, if you don't feel well afterwards, then, you know, it's something to look at. So I measure my emotions after I've eaten. So whatever I've eaten, I see how I feel. And if I feel good and strong, then that's a tick in my box to what is good for me. If I eat something and I don't feel well after, or upset or sad or not happy in any way, that's very much to do with what we eat and sometimes what we don't eat. So there may be an issue with a lot of us who don't drink enough water. And I'm talking about healthy water. So these are the things that I walk on the tightrope. I'm always checking my body if I can, and I do my best with exercise. You can overdo yourself by going to a gym and lifting too much weight, or you can just go nice and steady and build that muscle up day by day, week by week, nice and steady. You're in no rush. Same with food. You're in no rush. Same with the mindset. You're in no rush. There is no rush. Soon as you start bringing time and rushing into doing something, you're not going to enjoy it. It's that then you fall off the tightrope. So each step you take is exactly the steps that you take. Where you are is where you're meant to be, and where you're going to be taken to is where you're going. That's the tightrope effect. So you don't interfere with any negative thoughts or feelings or time. Time can be a killer to so many people. I know so many people who had accidents, and I'm one of them because of time. I will not allow time to shape my life, shape my world, and imprison my every daily routine and thought. I just won't do it. So, yeah, time is a very important factor. Time works for me. I am the master of time. I am not a slave to time. Time kills, time stops life from coming. You know, biological clock, you know, time, when is it? And hey, guess what? If you're in that state, you ain't having a baby, or you're going to be struggling with it. When am I going to get my job? When am I going to? Well, you know, I wouldn't employ you if that's the way you are. It's going to come when it's meant to come. And like I said, if you look at this idea of in 5 years you're going to be fine and happy, then you don't need to worry about anything. It's fine. Everything's fine. Plus the fact, if you're always worrying, you can add probably 4 or 5 wrinkles on your face within a year. That you're going to look tired. Your body's going to be exhausted. It's just a win-win situation when you just trust in the universe and know everything is as it should be. And whenever you're given a test, a trial, whenever you're given an opportunity to challenge yourself through the experience of life, then that's your moment. And everything up to that point is building up on that tightrope effect to be the best balancer of your life. So spiritually speaking, we talk about energy. Spiritual is energy to me. It's the energy around you. It's the energy within you. It's the spirit within you. It's the soul, the consciousness. And that's pretty powerful stuff. I mean, every day walking a path of balance is challenging because of so many obstacles, so much pollution, so much poisons, that we have to learn to walk the tightrope and learn to be stronger. And we need to 100%, 100%. There's no point saying 110%, no such thing as 100%. You need to listen. And most people don't listen. They're too busy talking. And we all suffer that. So it's so important that we listen. We listen. And most of us fail badly on that. When you actually learn to listen, you hear your consciousness. As soon as you hear your consciousness, all the answers come pouring through. because your consciousness is always leading you to the right energy all the time, the right energy of people, the right energy of real food, the right energy of your path. So you need to learn to listen, and most don't listen. They sabotage themselves by blame, anger, frustrations, all the things that I talked about in the mind. And really, if you look at the spiritual aspect, once you are connected, once you go inside and you start to hear things, everything gets fixed. Literally everything gets fixed. All the other two get fixed because you will be guided, and you will see your signs. You will feel everything that you need to feel. Your gut instinct will kick in, so you won't get let down. You won't meet horrible people because your gut instinct will lead you away and keep you safe. Your gut consciousness, your spirit, your soul, which is absolutely dying to join this spacesuit and the brain that you have. It's dying to meet you and to have a relationship with you. And if I'm guessing, only a few of you on here are probably connected to that. And sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. But the more times that we connect with it, the more times we start to get used to certain things that we know. Oh, thank you. Because you get all the true information from within. That's the only real information. And we're sometimes hijacked by the brain telling us that, oh, I knew I shouldn't have listened to my heart, when in fact you were listening to your brain. You blame the heart for everything. The brain is really sometimes your worst enemy. And it tries to trick you because you've been programmed to believe what you believe. You've been brainwashed to believe what you believe. All of those things aren't real. None of them. So it's unlearning and starting to listen. You don't need to unlearn. You just need to start to listen to your consciousness. The unlearning happens naturally. So when you realize something, oh my God, I didn't realize that. There you go. There you go. You're just listening. And that's what I do every day. There's no end goal. There is no point where you become a spiritual guru and you know everything, because there's too many things. And I think we come many, many times, many lifetimes on this amazing planet, which is planet Insanity. And it is interesting times. It really is interesting times, but it's not so nice if you're not really balanced. It's going to be really, really challenging if you're not balanced. So what I share with you tonight is so vital and so important that we take steps towards this. And it's a bit like whenever I say, if you want a healthy body, then the more healthy foods you put inside your mouth, the less crap you put inside your mouth, because you haven't time to put crap in your mouth because you're putting healthy stuff in your mouth. So that's the same with cleansing your body, clearing your body. The body suit is an energy. And when you're up against a computer, when you're in an environment of negative people, when you're in an environment of outside and it's just heavy, a supermarket, a shopping mall, just people who drain you, you need to clear the energy around you. So you can do it by a walk, which is exactly why I said 40 minutes walks a day. Don Tolman believes that we add 10 years on top of our life if we do 40 minutes a walk a day. And I truly believe that. I also believe that the physical body lives longer if you cleanse the body from outside. So we are walking energy. If the energy is dirty around us, then we need to cleanse and clear it. The sea, walking, I use sage and other tools to cleanse myself, and I'll do self-healing. These are the things, once your energy is bright and clean around you, you try and see it the way I used to see it. Like it's like a really bright light. The more you cleanse yourself, that light becomes not only brighter but wider. And I used to know when a client was poorly because that light around you is very, very, very small. It's almost like quarter of an inch. If you come to me and I can see your energy is like 6, 7, 8, 12 inches wide, it's like, okay, you're doing something good and your energy's good. You're in a better place. I have actually met people whose energy was out of the room. I didn't even see an end. And those people, I can only say, it's hard for me to even think of getting to that level, but I have seen that level with healing. So when a client comes and they've got a good energy, after a 1 hour and 20-minute healing session, there were times that I saw their energy so wide that I couldn't see anything else. And what I noticed with that was every time they went, they would always ring me a month or a week or 2 weeks later saying, "You'll never guess what happened." And miracles happened. They got a new job or they met somebody beautiful. And it makes sense. If your energy is wider than this room, you're going to get noticed. And I want to be around people with that energy. So if I'm going to employ somebody, that's who I want to employ. If I want to meet somebody to go out with, that's who I want to go out with. So everything on the tightrope effect, if we implement these things and we start thinking about them every day, then only good things happen. Only miracles start to come into your life. And one thing that, again, I found the tightrope effect, one of the major, if there was such thing as a list of 50 things, it's a practice that I did, and it's a practice that I was told to do when I was a full-time healer, and I channeled it, and I realized it was for me as well. So I would come into work, and if I felt my energy at 90, 100, I would write that time down, and I'd write the date down, and then I'd keep it in my pocket. I'd just stick it in my pocket. And I would then become fully aware of my day with one thought. If I started to feel bad about anything, I'd take this piece of paper out, write the time, and write the situation. And you would be surprised how quickly your bad days disappear. Because when you know what's upset you, it's the first starting point of fixing it. But do you know how many people go through life and don't even think about what upset them and what caused that they're falling off the tightrope? So being aware of who, what, where is, again, an amazing thing to try. So you might want to this week say, I like the idea of what Mark said. I'm just going to leave it to the universe and just get on with my day, get up and do what I normally do. But I'm not going to worry about anything because they're going to deal with it all. So I don't know what the outcome is, but I'm going to leave it with you. That might sound a great idea to start with. Or you might say, oh, I like the idea of just writing down when I'm feeling like I feel okay today, actually. I feel fine. I'm going to start now. So you write it down now. And then soon as you get upset, soon as you get a bad thought, soon as somebody upsets you, soon as you get a knee-jerk reaction, you take that piece of paper out and write it down, write the time down, and then what just upset you? What was it? What was the thought? What did you see? What did you... And then you now have that to overcome. You now know what you need to overcome and what's upset you. And you can go deeper. You can start thinking about, what is this and why is this affecting me? But it is the start of healing something that 99% of the world just don't do. And what happens is they build up, build up, build up, and then they explode, or they break down, or they go into depression. So it's catching these things, because if you can catch these things and know what they are and then think, oh yeah, now I know. You know, I didn't know that I used to get so upset. I didn't think about it. But every time I went to my dad's, I used to get upset. I used to come home and I'd be in a right bad place. And then it would be somebody else who would, well, it wouldn't be somebody else. It would be spirit speaking through somebody else. You've been to your dad's again, haven't you? Yeah. But it's not like I didn't think about it. It's like, just get on with it. Okay, well, you need to fix that. You need to fix why. You need to, most people just don't want to look at it. Most people turn around. People just don't want to know. It's too big. There's too much, too problematic. I don't think I can fix this. It's always going to be like this. And so most people live their life like that. And the other alternative is just running away from that. Running away from issues is not the tightrope effect. It isn't. Not at all. You run from anything, it just keeps catching up with you. And it just keeps catching up with you. So you need to face it head on at some point. So finally, I think we're living in a world now that I kind of feel a bit sick most days, in the sense of, I don't I I don't feel physically sick, but I guess the word is sad. Because when you are inside and you know truth and you feel it, and you look at social media and you can see all the influencers and all the people who are at the top of every post, every video, everything that's there put in front of you, 99% is a complete and utter lie. It's a fabrication of truth. It's for likes and popularity. It's for all the reasons that just don't feel right. And it feels like a fake world we live in. It's an illusion. So what I would say is this: I'd smile at that when you realize that the most important thing is not what you say, not your questions or your answers, but your actions, what you do from day to day. And as long as your actions are of strengthening your balance, then your tightrope walk is going to be so much more balanced. I like to try and create at least once a day. I try and do something good at least once a day. I try my best to be creative in every sense of the word. I try my best with creativity in thoughts, in actions, and feelings. So we leave it with this and say, when you walk the tightrope, you are balanced when you are on the energy of creativity. You are destined to fall if you are on the energy of destructive. And most people are on the energy of destructive without even realizing. Destructive thoughts, destructive feelings. So creativity on the tightrope kind of cancels that energy. And like anything in life, the yin and yang, light and dark, is always there around us and within us. So to cancel out the negative thoughts, it has to be replaced by positive thoughts. So you might see many, many people try to disrupt that by way of scrolling on the black screen and seeing people cutting each other, punching each other, slapping each other. That's there deliberately. So it's important that you focus on the love and the healing and the good things that happen. More of those things are essential. And your words that you share with the world are, again, very important. So finding the balance, even though you want to speak your truth, balance it with love. So something that I've tried to do is, if I've got something that I need to put out there and tell people because I've just found out and it's not good, I will counter that with a beautiful message after that. It obviously throws people everywhere and they don't know who I am, but that's okay. I don't do it for them. I do it more for myself, because I don't want to just be negative. Because unfortunately, most people now, when you share truth, they will couple truth with darkness and negativity and anger and bitterness and resentment and so many other emotions. When you share lies like, hey, I'm wonderful today, look how beautiful I am, I'm eating so healthy all the time, beautiful photos of you abroad and stuff, and you're not in a good place, but you kind of, that person's lying and you can feel they're lying, but people won't say anything. They'll just, oh, that's beautiful, you know. But then you don't want to say, hey, listen, guys, I'm in Bali and I'm depressed as hell. So it's not about pointing fingers at anybody. I'm always judged for that. No, I point out truths. And what do we do with them truths thereafter? So, I don't, there's many people that I know who feel bad, but try and get up and try and say nice things and do nice things to make themselves feel better. Of course, I get it. So we have to find the balance in those things when we're triggered, when we know that we live in a fake world now more than ever, because fake is promoted by the dark screen, and truth and love and kindness is very dangerous to the darkness. Because if you are filled with love and happiness and joy and creativity, then you're no good for the darkness and the system, because you don't feed the darkness and the system in so many ways, whether that's trying to buy something to make yourself feel better because you're not depressed. So they don't like happy and wonderful and strong people. So they don't want people to share that love and happiness. So they don't need to buy the stuff that the corporations force upon children and adults to help fill that hole. And thus the energy of darkness feeds like the battery. If we're sad and upset and crying and we're always in turmoil, then that feeds the darkness. So I just wanted to, is that right, Lily? What's that all about? I think Lily wants to go home now. But I hope you enjoyed this. It was nearly an hour. I wanted to just give you some healing food for thought. And it was just some of the things that I find that have helped my clients and myself along the journey. What you do with this information now is utterly your single and most divine thought, feeling, and where you go with it. Nobody else will go with it like you. So there is no right and wrong with whatever you take off me and how you use it and how you grow. But what I would say is that if you do ever conquer something in your life that you think, I've overcome that, never be frightened to share it, because this is the creativity of humanity. This is how we raise the vibration. There is so much lies and manipulations on the black screen that nobody actually heals or grows. They actually get lower and lower because they're listening to bullshit. They're listening to lies, and they're listening to people that literally, it's all about. It reminds me of one of those old movies where in a temple in Egypt, they're all eating, whatever it is on the floor. They're all half naked. They're all having sex, and they're all bowing and going crazy to, whatever gods that they bow to. And it's almost like a frenzy of energy, of craziness. And I see that growing and growing with the way people are behaving more and more on the internet, of how they don't know who they are, what they are, and they're just literally so out of balance that they couldn't even get up on the tightrope. So I am thankful that you're here, and I hope that some of this little bit of information serves you well. I'm not saying it's the right information. I'm just saying it's what's helped some of my clients, and some of the information that came through me as I'm doing a reading. I'm like, oh, I'm clocking that. I'm writing that down. I'm remembering this. Your consciousness remembers things that needs to be remembered. Your consciousness, after this talk, you're like, okay, I didn't get all of that. There was so much information. I promise you guys, with my hand on my heart, at the right time that you need some of this information, it will be revealed to you, because everything sits in your consciousness and it knows everything, and it will always help you when you need it. So I'm wishing you all well. It's been a wonderful day today. Again, very productive. We're getting out all the gifts because so many people buy for Christmas. So yeah, thank you so much for supporting Bajerski.com. I hope everything that you've used on Bajerski.com, all the shamanic tools, all the natural oils, organic oils that we sell, all the incense that we sell, all the teas that we sell, everything that we've done thus far over these past 2 decades. I truly mean this. I hope it's helped you a little bit along your journey, and all the crystals that I love working with, I hope they've made a difference in your life. And that's it. I'm wishing you all a good night, and thank you for being here. Thanks for joining. Again, thank you for being so supportive. And for myself and Lily, who's, yeah, she's counting angels in her sleep. What's she counting in her sleep? She's counting cats. Good night, everybody. Wish you all well. Take care. Bye. See you tomorrow.